Oh, well, that's our family, so.
Oh my god. That's 6 feet.
You want me to sit over there?
Welcome to Stock Madness, our update here. It's been 2 weeks. It's time to move through the brackets. We'll talk about who won in my brackets, and then yours, of course. We'll go through them. You want to go first?
I can start it again if you'd like.
Make it happen.
We're going to pick up where we left off last week with Penn and Amazon. Penn was killing it. They were up like 45%. Amazon was only up like 1%.
Yep.
And then I don't know what happened. Penn just Penn died. That was tough. So Penn actually ended up losing that. Amazon, they're basically right at the same point. Like as of when I got these, it was both less than 0.5%. Both were up less than 0.5%. But Amazon's moving on. Penn collapsed this week.
Look, this is the best lesson of all of this. You guys know I'm always talking about speed and volatility. You got to put up the chart of this so you guys can see the volatility of Penn versus Amazon. They met in the same place. I get it, it's only 2 weeks of performance, but after 2 weeks they had the same return. But what a wild ride on Penn versus Amazon. That is the definition of volatility right there. You got the same return, but you had to go on a roller coaster, whereas Amazon was like, just doing my thing.
Amazon was pretty much flat through that whole ride. Penn looked like, I don't know, Penn was just all over the board. That was a wild 2 weeks there.
So Penn drops off, Amazon moves on.
Amazon's moving on, Penn is out.
All right. Well, that sucks.
That's
Yeah. I'm up.
Yep.
So we got Intuit and AMD. I've got Intuit moving on there. I'm not sad about that. AMD the problem was AMD gapped up to started off strong at the beginning of the game, and then it faded. Only gained 2.5% versus 12% over the last 2 weeks for Intuit. I'm happy with that. Intuit's moving on.
My next one, are we doing all of them, by the way?
Yeah.
Microsoft and Visa, that was my highest scoring one. Microsoft is moving on over Visa, up about 13% over 2 weeks. Visa up almost 12%, so that was a pretty good little matchup there. As far as Microsoft goes, they didn't have a whole lot.
Yeah, lost lights.
Wow. They didn't have a whole lot going on. They did announce that they are going to continue hiring, and then also they're coming out with this family thing, Microsoft 365. Seems to be like Life 360, where you can just communicate with your family. That was their announcement, which I didn't really understand it a whole lot, but that was kind of the news-worthy things, and that was pretty much it for Microsoft and Visa. But Microsoft moving on.
I think Teams for them is going to be a killer. I think Slack's in real trouble there because they're all over the place. You could see it on TV. Everybody working from home. People using Teams have the blurred backgrounds. People using Slack or something else is just plain. So I think that's going to be big for them.
Yep.
Cool. I got Citigroup and JP Morgan. I'm not disappointed here. I checked this about 15 minutes before the end of the close. Citigroup was in the lead, but by the end of the day, JP Morgan squeaked it out. Citigroup over the last 2 weeks, 6.39%. JP Morgan over the last 2 weeks, 6.69%. I was rooting for JP Morgan. That was a close one up to the buzzer. Got it done.
That was one you were pretty upset about last week, and they pulled it out for you. That is a buzzer beater. Good job.
It was a buzzer beater. I know. Good. Sports, right?
That was good.
Hey,
man. So good for you on that one.
Yeah.
Microsoft moving on is going to be taking on Take-Two. Take-Two took down Netflix. That was kind of cool. Take-Two up 8%. Nothing really newsworthy. I think this is the third straight video. I'm going to say, hey, I think they're just riding the news of their 2K partnership. But also their theory, everybody's kind of just home playing video games, buying new video games. So Take-Two will be moving on and taking on Visa in the next round for me.
Now, it was Take-Two and who?
Netflix.
Okay. Well, you had two virus-related things there. Netflix, of course, looked like more volatile, right? Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix was kind of all over the board, and
it was a wild ride for both of them. I see there. Okay, good. I like that one actually. Take-Two moving instead of Netflix.
Yeah, it's exciting. I like that one.
I got Disney and Twitter. Twitter, as I mentioned, Twitter was only in there just in case there was some kind of volatile news. They got a lot going on, but Twitter loses out to Disney. I'm not sad about that. I'll take Disney, 9.6% gain over the last 2 weeks versus Twitter's loss of 6.48 wasn't even close. There was not even any moment that it was close between Twitter and Disney.
That was the only one for me that I felt like I was rooting against somebody. I was rooting against Twitter. I don't know why. I just felt like since day one I was rooting against them.
Watch it just pop next week or something. Let's see.
My last one was Berkshire Hathaway and American Express. Berkshire moving on, up almost 10% over 2 weeks. American Express not bad either, up almost 7%, but Berkshire is going to move on and take on Amazon in the next round.
Ooh, okay. I like it there.
That'll be an interesting one.
Good one. My final one is Dollar Tree and TAP. It also happens to be my biggest gainer of the week, Molson Coors. TAP is the ticker symbol. 18.63% versus Dollar Tree's loss. Kind of surprising. Dollar Tree, I mean, I know a lot of their stores still open. That's an essential business there. I like Coors. I like what's going on. I think Goldman Sachs even downgraded them to $35 price target. They're at 41 right now. But you got a 5.5% yield. No mention of them getting rid of that at the moment. Just cooking. They're cooking.
Actually, TAP was your best performer, and Dollar Tree was your worst performer over the 2 weeks. So
interesting.
That was kind of funny. For me, my best performer was Take-Two. Least valuable player would be Penn.
Yeah.
So, but for you, you got TAP taking on J.P. Morgan in the next round.
Yep.
And then Disney and Intuit. So that's going to be on your side in the Elite 8, quote unquote.
Let's take a look real quick. I mean, if I could see here. TAP's taking on J.P. Morgan. Take an extra second here. So naturally, J.P. Morgan is more volatile.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one, Molson Coors over TAP, J.P. Morgan versus TAP, you'd expect J.P. Morgan to be more volatile. The question is, can it just be volatile long enough?
Right.
Like it.
And then Disney and Intuit as well. But I don't know if you're going to do them all. But.
No. I was just curious. What do you got? Take-Two and Netflix?
Take-Two and Microsoft.
Okay, so Take-Two being the least volatile out of your group. So Microsoft there, which is interesting, actually.
That'd be interesting.
All right, so there you go. That's the bracket updates. We'll see how it goes. Remember, we're playing for a prize that I didn't get to find out about just yet. But so far, so good. We'll see what happens there. Let us know below what you're playing, how it's going for you, and we'll see you next week.